Massive nerfs to the Fox trees, KA-52 buff, nerfs here, buffs there, new stuff added, new stuff removed. Hello guys, once again, it's Matt. Thank you all the members and patrons, make sure to subscribe. And today we're going to talk about all the data mines from patch day and today with the update that we had today that Ajude actually released on Reddit. Okay, so I'll leave all the links in the description and let's get into it. The first thing is that all the F4s, basically all the F4s, F4E, C, F, J, all the F4s, and the F104s as well, most of them at least, got a kind of a change on their fuel. So now they actually can take more fuel time in all throttles, you know, so it will be a little bit more economical up to the 100%. After 100%, between 100% and 110, it will actually consume more fuel. So be careful with the F4, okay? All MiG-23s as well got a buff on their flight models. The MiG-23s and 27s actually got a buff on the flight model, increasing the overall turn rate of the aircraft by decreasing the drag by the AOA. You know, normally it will have more energy retention and in many instances, and overall just more turn rate as well, which is pretty interesting because they just nerfed this aircraft. On the A6E tram, the sight and the targeting mechanism over here on the nose of the aircraft actually got nerfed by almost half the resolution as well as the MVD. So now it will be a little bit less of a resolution for you to actually look around. I don't know if we can actually see it, but let's test it out. So it is a little bit less than it was, if I'm not mistaken, right? Another pod that was actually changed was the pave spike. So the Kurnas 2000 and the Buccaneer 2B got basically a reduced zoom on their own pods, right? So if you take the pod over here, let me grab it and show to you guys. Now it will actually have a less zoom, and it's kinda by a lot. I don't know if it shows. It doesn't show right here, but anyway, you will have basically less than half of the zoom that it had before. Okay guys, so if you're gonna use these aircraft, just be careful with that. So you can see it right here. It goes very good, but it's not as much as it was before, okay? So yeah. The F-15A, the BAS, the BAS Meshupar, and the old F-15J all got a new radar system, okay? So now they're going to have tracking, pulse Doppler when you actually lock a target. If you change the mode, it will go to pulse Doppler RAM. This is due to the new PSP processor on the APG-63. So it basically has a TWS, but it's limited to one target, and it's not really useful unless you are using the Meshupar, because then you can actually fire missiles with this. But the other ones you will still have to lock to get a fire resolution. So yeah, doesn't matter too much, but it is pretty cool to have something like this. The Mirage 2000-5 over here actually got a nerf on its pod. So now if it actually uses a pod over here, which is the Damocles pod, it will have less of a zoom. I think they were nerfing it for all the aircraft, but now it got to the 2005F. And remember, all the Mirage 2000s except from the CS4 now have a MAW system, a missile approach warning system, okay? So it will let you know when a missile is actually coming towards you, and even deploy missile flares automatically against the threat. This one, I'm gonna talk about it on the actual video of the AMX, but the new AMX, the Brazilian one, actually got a bunch of new weapon systems. So these are, some of them are from certain countries, some of them are Brazilian and stuff, but there are some very interesting bombs over here. Like for example, the big 920 kilogram BFG 920 bomb, which is pretty much a demolition bomb that the US has. It's a very, very big bomb and very, very cool. It has some form of rockets over here, which is very similar to what the Hydras, I think. I don't remember, but still, which are the Skyfires. So yeah, there are some new loadouts that were not in the dev for this aircraft, which is pretty cool. The AV-8B Plus actually got a new loadout now. Now this aircraft finally can receive the ability to carry 4 AAM-4. So if you go to the secondary weapons over here, I already have one selected, and now you can take the AAM-4. This goes for the Italian one as well, okay? But yeah, the AAM-4s can be used in all the pylons over here. A lot of aircraft got their countermeasure changed, okay? I'm not gonna mention every single one of them, but check your favorite aircraft out because it might actually have its flares and chaff changed. Some got large flares, some smaller, some a mix between the two, some even forced types, like for example in the Mirage 2000, where you are obliged to use 48 chaff, as you see, and then in the other countermeasures you can choose, but the 48 chaff is always there. So this is very interesting, very realistic, to be honest. So yeah, very, very cool. Another Harrier that got changed a little bit is the Sea Harrier. Now you can actually use the BOL pod together with missiles, which was something that people were complaining on the dev server. Now they finally added, and you can basically have a lot more flares or a lot more countermeasures with missiles, which is pretty good, pretty good. There were not that many tank changes or big ones, but a lot of Abrams got a new round. It's called the M908. It's basically a multi-purpose shell, okay? It can be used for many instances and many things. I think in real life it actually was used for like concrete and other type of like armored targets and stuff like that. But it can be used to aircraft and other stuff like that. So most of the Abrams got this ammunition. So you can see even the SEPs, the 1A, the A1, sorry, even the 120S over here got the new round, which is pretty good. I think even this one is a new round for this tank. Yeah, I think so. I have to check, but still. So some new rounds for some Abrams. Some tanks got the new modules internally for you to actually destroy and take the tank down a little bit, right? So for example, now we have the electronic equipment here that if it fails, the IRST, the laser warning system over here will be damaged. For example, the autoloader, for example, if it's damaged, it will stop autoloading the gun. I don't know. Let's see, fire control system, NVD, laser warning, gun stabilizer will stop working. So if you hit these targets, dive controls and stuff, if you hit these, it will break the tank a little bit more than it used to be. So if you have a favorite tank that you like to use, check it out. Many tanks got that. AA systems, get parts, everything. So check it out. There's so many tanks. I'm not gonna list every single one of them. Now we have for bombs and Fox 3 missiles and some other things, basically a timer for the target to actually be hit. So here we are testing it out. For example, I'm going to target that house over there. If I fire the bomb, see on the top left corner there, it says basically a timer. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And splash. So I don't think it's splash, right? But doesn't matter. Anyway, it's a timer for you to actually know when the bomb is going to actually hit the target, which is pretty useful, especially for guided bombs when you have a lot of AAs in the ground battle. So now we go for the main thing that I wanted to make a video about. So the F-16, not the F-16, the AAM-4, guys, or I'm going to talk about all the Fox 3s, okay? First of all, the AAM-4. The AAM-4 specifically got its max fin lateral acceleration decreased with some other minor autopilot changes to go according with that, okay? Which means that it will probably change directions a little bit, slower. Not by much, but a little bit slower. So it will basically change the directions of the fins a little bit with less speed, okay? The Mika of the Mirage 2005F over here got a max fin AOA decreased. So now the fins will actually turn less in AOA, which means that the missile will technically turn less. It's not really like that it works, but in a general sense it is. And the max fin lateral acceleration got increased, which means that the acceleration of the fins getting to that max AOA is increased, making it start turning faster, but the max turn will be a little bit less because of that. Also, the loft of the missile is nerfed as well. So a little bit of a nerf for the Mika together with some other changes. The PL-12 of the J8F actually got some changes. I didn't play with it yet, but it did indeed get some, let me buy this thing, some changes to the missile itself, okay? So it should be a little bit more realistic now, I would say. So yeah, the R-77, and not only the R-77, but the R-77-1 as well. Yes, they are messing with the R-77-1 in the files, even though the missile is not in the game. But they actually changed the max fin AOA for the R-77, decreasing it, which means that the same from the Mika, it will make the missile turn a little bit less. It had some other autopilot changes, but that's the main thing. So expect the R-77 to turn a little bit less than what it was in the dev server, okay? And last but not least, a complete new missile, to be honest, the AAM-4. This one got a punch in the guts, man, because it became larger, apparently, like 50 centimeters, I think. It has less drag overall, which is good, like a lot less drag. It's kind of significant, but still, it's complicated, you're gonna see. A max fin AOA and the max fin lateral acceleration got nerfed, so it will turn less and slower than before, getting to that max turn. The engine was completely reworked, no more sustainer, so if you go here, you can even see it in the stat card. It has a completely different range and everything. So instead of having now a burner with a sustainer, it has just a burner straight through for like 7 seconds. And those 7 seconds give it a general delta V of 800 meters per second, which means it's kind of sad what I'm going to talk about, but it becomes the worst missile energy-wise of the new Fox 3s. Worse even than the AIM-120. The AIM-120 is like 860 something. So yeah, AIM-120s and AAM-4s are the missiles that have the least energy to actually do anything, especially for longer ranges, but also to maintain the energy up for actually to be able to turn the amount of turn that it can actually do, right? So yeah, the G limit was even nerfed to 32 Gs, as you see. So it will turn less, it will have less energy, although it has less drag in a general sense. It got an increasing payload, so now it has more explosives, 16 kilograms of TNT equivalent, which is probably one of the largest ones of the Fox 3s, but still it is, you know, problematic. But also there are some other changes, like it had more time in guidance, so now it's like 100 seconds, which means that it can actually go for longer ranges, you know, 100 kilometers as it said on the stat card. But the thing is that it's just not gonna have enough energy to do that, you know. So it's kind of weird, but you know, it now is probably what it was supposed to be, and it got a nerf in its loft. So it is going to be a very, like a harder missile to use. I gotta be honest, use the AIM-120 and you will be fine. The AIM-120 is still, I think, the best missile, at least in theory. Even turns more, 3G more, but it turns more, okay? They fixed a problem of the F-16 AM over here, so now the AIM-120s are appearing on the aircraft, I think. Yeah, they are. So now it wasn't yesterday, so now it is. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about to make everybody happy, oh yeah, of course, this is something that a lot of people will enjoy, I guarantee. The KA-52 got a buff. It's not a big buff, but it's an interesting one. It actually now has a TV system that is full HD, so now it can actually find targets in a better way from longer ranges. So it kind of got a buff on the regards of the quality of the image that you can actually see, right? Making it a little bit easier to find targets and stuff, okay? So yeah, guys, basically this is it. I know a lot of things, but yeah, some things they just don't appear in the change logs, and we have to rely on our data miners to actually do that. and know where the stuff is and what the stuff is. So thank you, Washida, for doing this, Zabi, and everybody that does this type of work. I will leave the links in the description for you guys to check out the Reddit posts, and I see you guys on the next one. So let me know in the comments what you think about the massive buff on the AAM-4, nerf on the AAM-4 and the other changes, and I see you guys on the next one. Bye guys, see ya.